Hey everyone, welcome back to Coffee with Kittl. I am super excited for today's episode. I have Martin from Printify with me here, and this is going to be exciting. We're just talking about capabilities of Printify. We're talking about what's going on with print on demand right now, maybe like how things started booming back in COVID era, but it's still going forward. It's still trending. Print on demand is like skyrocketing. Everyone's getting on board, or they're a little hesitant and afraid to get on board. So we're going to tackle some of those questions and also talk about capabilities that maybe Printify can help you with. So Martin, if you wouldn't mind, give us just a little bit of detail on who you are, what it is that you do at Printify, and then we'll just dive into the discussion.
All right. First, Drew, let me just say thank you for inviting me on your show and allowing me to address your audience. And I really hope by the end of our discussion, people are going to be excited not only about print on demand, but about Printify. And just thank you so much for this opportunity. Well, my name's Martin Darland. I'm Martin from Printify. I am Printify's one and only expert consultant. And what that means is I have among my many duties, I get to host our webinars and communicate directly with our merchants in live Q&A sessions and a bunch of stuff that happens behind the scenes that isn't that interesting. But I came up in the industry working with Printify's biggest clients. And we decided that we would take everything that I learned making our biggest merchants even bigger and apply that to as many merchants as possible. So that's why we communicate with the webinars and the live Q&A sessions and just trying to bring everybody into the fold and make them as successful as possible. And it's a great job. I love doing it.
That's amazing. Yes, I as I know, YouTube is very important. Education for these platforms is very important. Lives are important. Q&As, things like Discord, like we have a Discord community. All these things are extremely important and vital for helping sellers, designers, whoever really get better. Have firsthand access to someone that knows what's going on. So tell me a little bit about Printify. If someone is just joining, maybe they've been using Kittl, maybe they do have like a little Etsy shop and they haven't quite got into print on demand, or even the acronym or whatever POD is kind of like, I keep hearing this but I don't really know what it is. Maybe if you can tell us what about print on demand and how Printify, how those things are together and like the capabilities of Printify.
Okay, sure. Let's start with print on demand and we'll work our way to Printify. Okay, perfect. So print on demand is a simple business model that allows you as the merchant to apply your designs and fully customize products and make those available around the world to anybody that wants to buy them, and without having to make any major upfront investments and negotiate with the suppliers and hold large amounts of inventory. So that gives you tremendous amount of flexibility as a small business owner. Okay. And Printify is a technology platform. Where we differ from our competition in the print on demand space is that we allow you as the merchant to connect to a network of print providers. So that gives you the freedom and flexibility to choose the right fit for your particular business needs, rather than a one size fits all model that you'll find with our competition. So it gives you the ability to really not only have access to all those customizable products, but have a customizable experience as well. So that's Printify and POD in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, yeah. And so with print on demand, I'm just kind of curious as to why you think it's so popular, why it's blown up. Obviously, through the points that you just said, no upfront costs is obviously extremely attractive. Low risk, it's easy to integrate, all these kinds of things. But I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on why it's still a good time to get in on print on demand. So I feel like sometimes people can be hesitant. There's too many people doing print on demand. There's too many, Etsy shops. There's too many whatever. And I feel like POD is always trending. So just what are your thoughts on print on demand? I'd love to know.
Okay. Well, first of all, the pie is big enough for everyone to get a slice. And And how big a slice is really up to you. Okay, print on demand is popular because the barrier to entry is so low. Okay,
Okay.
I mentioned the upfront cost. You can use a service like Printify. It's absolutely free to use. Okay, and it sort of gives you the opportunity to be a small business owner, and
Yeah.
it can be a lot of things to a lot of people. If this is just something you want to do on the side, maybe you're retired and you're looking for something, you want to share your hobbies and connect with the community, and make a little make a little scratch on the side. It
Yeah.
can be that. It can be a side hustle to supplement your 9 to 5 job, or it can be sort of the goal to leave that 9 to 5 world behind, and you can and become your own boss in focusing on a space that is near and dear to your heart. Okay,
Yeah.
so depending on what you want to get out of it, there are lots of possibilities, and that's attractive in a lot of different ways to a lot of different people.
100%. I mean, what I, like many other people, got started with, I feel like so many things in 2020. I think that it just gave people, the time to do something that they couldn't do otherwise. They didn't really have a choice. What's interesting is, it skyrocketed POD, which is great for a lot of businesses, of course, as well as for the seller, but it hasn't stopped. Like you said, like the pie is big enough for everybody. Like it hasn't stopped. And what I think is interesting is one of the reasons that it won't stop is because of all of the new capabilities and things that print on demand suppliers like Printify are going to do, whether that's new products, whether that's new collaborations, whether that's new features, whatever it is. Like it's going to get better and better and better, and it elevates the designer or the creator or whatever as well to be better. So these things just keep going hand in hand with Printify. Why don't you talk about some of the maybe specific solutions that you all offer? Why would someone come to Printify? What's going to be the alluring factor, and maybe what they would need to do to get set up quickly or get started?
Okay, well, what makes Printify attractive, and this is where I get all sales pitchy. I'll try not to sound too much like a used car salesman, but we make a commitment to our merchants because we're nothing without our merchants. It's a partnership. Okay,
Sure.
you're not our
Yeah.
customers. We work together because you're not. We're only successful when you're successful. So we have an interest in supporting you throughout the entire process. Be it you're just starting out and you just heard the letters POD put together in
Yeah.
that order yesterday,
Right.
or or if you're fulfilling hundreds of orders a day and everybody in between. Okay, so those promises we make to our merchants is and there are four of them. The ability to operate your business profitably. Okay, because if nobody makes any money, then what's the point?
Sure.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and that's why we offer the lowest prices on the industry's most popular products. Okay, and then it's also quality because people are staking the reputation of their business on, and they're counting on Printify to come through for them.
Yeah.
So if the end product isn't up to standards, well, then we've let our partner down. Okay, so you can
Sure.
count on us to maintain a level of quality that you can stake your business reputation on. And then speed. Everybody wants things fast.
Yes.
Get your order through production, get it in the mail, get it delivered quickly. All of these, and just in the time that I've been in the industry, we've seen major improvements, and that involves a lot of moving parts.
Yep.
It's not just us. It's not just our providers. It's the logistical network that delivers the package and everything, and every step in between. And then of course selection. Okay, that's the fourth sort of promise that we make to our customers. That, I mean, you just look at our catalog. I mean, there's 800 some products. We're putting up new ones all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even keep up. There's like 30 a month. And again, the chances are, if your customers want to buy it, you can find it from us, and each one fully customizable. And it's
Yeah.
employing
It's a lot.
the latest technology. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I could really go on and on about. I mean, my wife is sick of me hearing about it, so I'm glad I can preach this gospel to a new audience.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like I was mentioning earlier, just the reason POD is so attractive is that the options are endless via products. You could even get into niches and product niches that you didn't even know people were there to buy, and then you merge it with something like Kittl, how it's so easy to design something, and then boom, you can really create an amazing catalog yourself with Kittl and Printify together. So I asked this question a couple weeks ago when I had an interview with Awkward Styles, and I always want to ask this interview with suppliers. What, in your opinion, has been the most either trending or popular product that you've seen happening, and kind of like you're asking you because you're on the behind the scenes of Printify. This isn't just us going to Etsy and looking at what the most top tier product is, and you can't say shirts. So other than that,
Okay.
you can't say shirts. Maybe you could say a shirt brand if you want, like this shirt brand appears to have a million thousand sales or something, but like in terms of like popularity, what have you all been seeing that's like, wow, this product is like, hey, get in on this product,
Okay, I'm gonna answer your question a little more broadly, because
Okay.
I want to talk about a product category
Oh,
that
sure,
is
sure, sure. Yeah.
really that is really booming at the moment, and that's home decor and all the
Home
stuff
decor.
for your house. Okay, because
Okay.
and it started during the pandemic. If we can get in the Wayback Machine to 2020 here, because that's where we really saw print on demand and online businesses really start to boom, because there was no brick and mortar options. Everything was shut down. People still needed stuff. The deliveries were still happening. Okay. And people still needed stuff for their home. Okay. And
True, true.
so print on demand sellers stepped up to fill that gap. So that got people that weren't necessarily looking for to online retailers to fill that need. It forced them that direction. They found something they liked, and that trend has still continued here post pandemic. Okay, and
Yeah.
and what I mean by that is, you wouldn't necessarily, when I started, I didn't, who's going to buy a print on demand shower curtain? Well, we sell a lot of those. Okay,
See, that's
and
that's crazy to me.
yeah, because you're never going to be able to compete on price with the Walmart and the Target down the street
Well,
selling
sure,
shower curtains. Okay,
sure.
but that's why you have to offer something super cool, super unique,
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
really going to be the centerpiece of someone's bathroom. And print on demand sellers are just poised perfectly to take advantage of that
that's
sort of
true. Yeah.
niched market. Okay, so yeah, I mean, home decor products, everything under the sun. I mean, we sell everything. It's like it's crazy, like ice bucket and tongs. Yeah,
Really?
who yeah, who when they introduced that product, I was like, really? Like, who's going to buy that? But there are people out there that
Is it
want
buying
a
branded ice buckets or something?
yeah, and so it just goes to show that, depending on the customer that you're targeting, you
Yep.
never know what they're going to want, and print on demand is perfect to sort of try out new designs, try out new products, see if your customers want to buy them, and with each effort, whether it's successful or not, you learn something. Okay, great. Maybe they don't want to buy ice bucket and tongs, or maybe they want to buy ice bucket and tongs only at a certain time of year. So
Oh,
there
okay. Yeah.
the ability to be flexible and try new things out is what makes is one of the great advantages of being a print on demand seller.
I asked that question because I think it's always fun to hear the answers. A lot of people are gonna get into print on demand, and maybe they're like t-shirts is where it's at. I want to sell shirts or whatever. I want to sell t-shirts, and that's fine. It really is. I mean, you should have shirts, right? If your design is flexible, meaning that it applies to it can adhere to a lot of different items or products or whatever, then why not have a shirt? The problem with that is like people thinking they're just going to make bukus of sales with shirts or posters, prints or whatever are the two probably most alluring, popular. Like I could probably design a better poster than that, is like the saturation. And so then hearing something like what you're saying with home decor is like, hey, let's actually like browse this catalog a little bit and like see what else we can put it on, right? I would hate for people to really pigeonhole themselves to shirts, because I think you can do a lot more, right? What would be your advice in this kind of getting started print on demand game?
Well, I certainly don't want to turn anybody away from trying to sell a t-shirt.
Oh
It's
no,
still
absolutely, yeah,
it's still by far the number one
yeah,
with a bullet product out there. Black
oh yeah,
t-shirts, people love them. Okay.
yes,
But
100%.
but the advice I give to people is to put themselves into the mindset of their customer. Okay. A
Yeah,
lot of times merchants are their own customer, meaning that they're involved in a niche that also applies to them. Okay.
yeah,
So it's a little bit easier to step into their shoes when they're also your shoes. Okay. But try to do it objectively. take a tour through the catalog and just think about, okay, great. If it's gift giving time and you're looking for, and if you're looking to get give a product to someone, would it apply? Would it make sense? I mean,
Yeah.
and then see what works. Make a list and be like, great, I want to try this, I want to try that, because you don't know. I mean, you may be the first one to stumble onto all of a sudden glass cutting boards with unicorns and rainbows are just the coolest thing ever. I mean,
Right.
you don't know until you try. So
That's true.
again, that's the major advantage of the print on demand business model.
Endless capability, and I think that's kind of, sometimes it can be part of the, a little bit of the hassle, but it's also fun, right? To figure out where you're belonging, finding your tribe, finding the audience, like you said, thinking in the mind of the seller. We like to generally design based on what we like, which is fine, but then you have to think about that audience that's going to purchase that thing.
That's exactly why tools like Kittl are so crucial to the process,
Yeah,
because if you're going to be designing all these products, well, where are you going to get those designs?
sure.
And what I like most about Kittl is that the learning curve from beginner to actually being able to use it on a regular basis to put up and design new
Yeah.
products is super short.
Yeah.
The templates that you guys have are super fundamental to the process, and you just kind of parcel out
Yep.
some parts of it here, add yourself in there. My favorite part is to sort of Frankenstein some pieces from
Yeah,
template
from
to
different
template and kind
templates.
of and
Yeah.
kind of make my own, and it really gives you that creativity, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without this without the support of tools like Kittl that give the beginner an opportunity to become a designer so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of like our whole mantra, really, is making the complex, easy, allowing the creator, the user, or even if someone that's, just thinking about becoming a creator, to unleash that creative power, right? This kind of innate thing that's like the comment I've been getting most recently, which I love, is someone saying to me, like, yeah, I had this in my head, but like I'm not skilled enough to do it, right? I'm not like, I can't make it happen, right? When you see this design or what you want, and they're like, the templates allow me to see it and then actively move it around to get to the thing that I want to do, which is amazing. That's like the whole point, right? Is to be able to see it and then actually do it.
Yeah, and in the conversations I've been having recently, or over the course of time with merchants that are just starting out, they're a little intimidated by the design process because
Oh, sure.
because it's so new. And I tell them, but there's no need to be trepidatious about the whole process.
Sure.
There are tools like Kittl that you can use for free to kind of try out and sort of dip your toes into the water, get familiar with the process. And after time, these merchants often say that the design process was what they really enjoyed the most about the whole print on demand making products,
Yeah.
because they get to express themselves creatively and stimulate those parts of the brains that may have been dormant for a while, and the reward of knowing that there are people out there wearing your designs, or
Yeah.
drinking coffee out of a mug that with a design that came out of your brain, is super rewarding. So they find that aspect of the process is their most favorite, when before they started they found it the most daunting.
Yeah, it needs to be rewarding at the end. They people, users feel accomplished, they enjoy what they've made, and then they get to feel proud when they see it out and about. So a couple of like maybe logistical questions I have about Printify that maybe viewers have. Maybe they've been using other integrations, or maybe they're not, and they haven't even started yet. So if someone was maybe concerned about integrations, okay, cool. This sounds really nice. Printify sounds nice, has all this 800 some products, whatever. Can it integrate with what I need it to integrate? So what does currently, Printify currently integrate with in terms of website capability? And should there be any concerns about like, oh, I'm not going to be able to integrate with my website or something?
Okay, you're setting me up for a good one here. I like this. Okay. uh, We integrate with several sales channels. The most popular ones in the market: the Etsy, the eBays, the Shopify's, the WooCommerce, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We also
Sure.
give you the ability to sort of build your own solution on your end and connect to us via a custom API. But
API,
let's
nice.
say you're not into the perceived complexity of some of those options. Well, we
Yeah.
just launched a new feature, and I'm so happy I get this served up to me to deliver to your audience. It's called Printify Pop-up, where you,
Oh,
for
wow.
free, you have access to your own store, and it's not connected with any sales platform. It's just a venue for you to feature your products,
Products.
sell them to the public at large, collect the money, and the best part is that we handle all of your customer service as it relates to
Wow.
to the storefront. Now, granted, it's pretty brand new, so the
Sure.
features are basic, but the functionality is there. You can put your stuff up for sale, tell people about it through various
Kind of like your own little
social media channels.
mini website, right? Like a like yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is free to use. It's part of our commitment to you as the merchant to support you in selling in whatever way in whatever way works best for you. So
Wow.
to anybody listening, sign up and you have access to your free storefront. It's a win-win.
Yeah. So I'm assuming there's some editing capability to kind of brand it, right? As if it's your own storefront, right? You have a little banner or something like that. I haven't actually tried it out because it's so new, but I'm
Well,
sure
sure.
over time there'll be some sort of editing ability.
Yeah, I mean, right now, as I mentioned, it's the functionality is pretty basic, but as we develop it over time, and it appears to be pretty popular, so
Oh,
so
great.
you will
That's
see
great.
us, spending some resources to sort of build it out, so to speak. But yeah, everything's going to come with time. But right now, I mean, it's a free store. Go ahead and start selling your stuff and making some profit.
Yeah, so anyone that's listening, I mean, if they were worried about having their own website, right, can be daunting. I personally really like Squarespace. I think it's really easy to use, but for some people, they're like it's just too complicated. Or if getting started trying to integrate with Etsy, which there's a lot of things on the back end of Etsy to take care of, and once you get them taken care of, things kind of flow very seamlessly. But something like what you're saying is so easy and it's all handled through Printify. That does sound amazing. It sounds very attractive for new users, new creators, new sellers to have something pretty much instantaneously, if I'm hearing you correctly. Like if they want to post some products and then share it with friends and family or post it on their Instagram or whatever, it's like pretty immediate, right?
It's definitely immediate. I mean, you create the product, you publish it, and then you can literally start accepting orders right then and there. And when
That's
those orders
amazing.
come in, they then we will handle your customer service through through our already existing merchant support.
That's phenomenal. Like I think that's gonna be a game changer for a lot of people that are getting started, which gives them time to, for anyone listening, it gives you time to link something actively, presently, start getting orders while you continue to set up things like your Shopify or your Etsy or your Squarespace or your whatever. I mean, you heard it. You can basically integrate with whatever you want, which is extremely important. It's very it can be very upsetting, and I'm like going back into the just regular Drew being a seller selling products. Like it's very upsetting when you go through all this stuff because somebody offers something nice and then they don't integrate with whatever website. So try it out. Like you said, Martin said, it's free. Kittl's also free to try. If you're just joining us brand new to Kittl channel,
Mhm.
why not? Why not go ahead and set up some products?
And this speaks back to the lower barrier to entry that makes this industry so popular, because
Yeah.
everything is, I mean, uh, free Printify, free store, free Kittl. I mean, free educational resources out there. I mean, there
Yeah.
is a universe of information out there just waiting for you to tap into, and it's 100% free, and you could consume it in any way possible, or in the way that is most comfortable for you. If you want to read, if you prefer to read articles, that's fine. I'm the kind of person that learns better if I watch videos, and if that's how you
Yeah.
also choose to learn, well, the print on demand industry has that in spades. I mean,
Oh, yeah, all over the place.
if it's not YouTube, yeah, YouTube videos, you can there are plenty of successful merchants out there that have been featured on your program, on their own personal
Yeah.
YouTube or TikTok channels, that just love sharing that information with the community at large, because they love to give back and make you successful. So the excuse for I don't know where to find this information, I don't buy it. A simple Google search will get you started, and there is more information out there than you will be able to consume in 10 lifetimes.
Oh, 100%. I mean, yeah, and it's going to keep happening and keep updating and new things happening. 100%. So before we talk about Printify premium for a second, because I do want to talk about that in a second and the capabilities. I would like to know, and this also I think would be really helpful for beginners, new sellers, as you've had this experience over the years, talking with merchants, working with some big sellers, things like that. I wonder if you might be able to share, if you've heard at all, some of the advice that you or they had, these sellers, in getting started, things to think of, and maybe we're also just thinking, mindset wise, we're maybe not necessarily saying, well, make sure you can design well or something like that, but like actually getting set up, the things to think about so that you are successful on a place like Etsy or on a place like your own Shopify, just getting started. I wonder if you might share some of those just top level tips, lessons from the creators or yourself.
First of all, decide what you want to get out of it. Is this something you want to
Mm.
do full time? Is this a side hustle for you? Is this a hobby? Okay.
Yeah, good.
And then once you have made that choice, well, then you know exactly what kind of effort that you want to put into it
Mm,
to reach your goals. If it's just a hobby for you, well, then maybe an hour here, an hour there is all you need. If it's a
right.
side hustle, well, it's going to take a little bit
Some time.
more involvement from you. But if you really want to make this a go, then yeah, you're going to have to commit the time to it, because it is pretty simple. I mean, you publish your product, excuse me, you upload your design, you publish your product, and you collect orders. Okay. So
Right.
in that aspect, the process is pretty straightforward. Okay. But it can be as complex as you want it to. Okay. And for anybody listening that is just starting out, I encourage you to become a student of this industry. Again,
Mm,
we just mentioned all those resources out there to take advantage of.
yeah.
Okay. And we do our part as well, because we have a vested interest in seeing you succeed. So you'll find on Printify, on our YouTube channel, a ton of videos about
Yeah.
everything in the print on demand universe, all with the goal of making you a more educated, more profitable merchant. But promise me, everybody listening, that when you go to our YouTube channel to view these videos, please subscribe
Yeah.
and tell them Martin sent you. Okay, and you'll also find our webinars on there, which I am privileged enough to host. Drew will be joining us for a webinar in the future.
Yes.
Happy to continue the discussion on design that has been
Mm,
the focus of our previous two webinars. And not to mention our blog articles and live chat feature with our agents that is available by pushing the little green button in the lower left-hand corner of your Printify dashboard, where you can
mm,
connect to a live agent if you have questions. And plus my live Q&A sessions that I do on Mondays and Wednesdays that are 100% free for anyone to join.
yeah.
This is one of the parts of my job that I absolutely love, because I get to sit down and have these conversations with people. And because I'm just starting out can mean a lot of different things. So
Mm, okay.
once we start having these conversations, I can say, oh, have you thought of this? Have you done that? Okay. But just become a student of this industry, and choose who you want to sell to, and find
Yes.
and try and discover what it is they want to buy. Okay. Put yourself
Mm,
in the mindset of your customer. Now,
yes.
there are two different schools of thought on how you should be targeting customers. There's the, find a niche and get yourself narrowed down and focused, and
Right,
really
right,
learn about their behavior, what sort of online spaces they congregate in, and
right.
really try to develop a targeted product line, and then find the best way to reach them. And then there's the, hey, I'm just going to go on Etsy and I'm going to create a million different products. It's the what I call the spray and pray method, where I'm just going to create everything under the sun. I'm going to create a million listings
Right,
and just
right.
sort of succeed by sort of peppering the market with everything.
With
And
everything.
both come with their own levels of success. But I'll tell you this: everyone at the top is very specialized. The
Sure.
merchants that I
Yes.
work with that are the most successful in the industry know who they're targeting. They know they've studied how to target them, and they've repeatedly made mistake after mistake, learned from them, not made those same mistakes again. And it's a matter of finding what works, and then once you stumble on that sort of formula for success, you scale it up, and then you reach a certain point where, like, great, my Etsy store, my Shopify store is going great. And then
Yep.
you make the decision: do I bring in professionals to sort of take this to the next level,
Oh,
or
I see.
maybe now I'm going to take this already successful business model that I've developed and then replicate it with targeting a different niche, and then you sort of
Oh,
build your
okay.
empire, store after store after
Good
store.
advice. Yes, that's I love the advice of becoming a student. I mean, and this goes with everything, whether it's wanting to do print on demand, then you have that to learn, and then wanting to integrate with Etsy, then you have that to learn, right? And always updating, always looking at success leaves clues is essentially what I'm trying to say as well, right? Is once you know those things, you know your target audience, you've looked at top sellers that are doing very specialized things, success leaves clues, right? And so we just take this model, we replicate it, and then it's actually really good advice to, once you get to one level, you can replicate that again. Super, super smart. And I would say that I think what we're both trying to say is, if you have a mindset that is a set it and forget it, which is similar to like your spray and pray, but I feel like sometimes people think even a little bit less, not 100 listings, not 1,000 listings, just a couple, right? It's just to set it and forget it. Like, this design is so amazing on this product, I'm going to set it and I'm going to forget it. Why aren't my sales happening? Well, then that's because you have a set it and forget it mindset. So what you said in the beginning is probably one of the most important pieces of information I want you all to take away is, what do you want out of it? If you want the set it and forget it mentality, like, you have to get to the point where you've put so much effort into it that you can set it and forget it, because you're killing it already. But it's not going to happen. Like, it could,
Yeah.
but I doubt that it's going to, you put 2 or 3 shirts up and then tomorrow you have a million sales. It's not going to happen, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing the set it and forget it with just a handful of products, well, then, you know, set your satisfaction level also low.
Lower,
Like,
lower. Yeah.
I'm only making a sale a week. Well, then you're doing great for for what it is you're
Mm.
trying to accomplish.
You
Okay.
are doing great,
Uh,
actually.
yeah, but if I can just pass on another kernel uh, of advice to people just starting out, don't spend money on ads right off the bat, because you
Good
have so
advice.
much to learn to even get to that point. What you're going to
Mm.
do is, some people right out of the gate, they're like, great, I'm going to buy some Facebook ads, and I'm going to
Oh, I didn't
spend
realize
money
that.
on influencers, and I'm really going to pump it in there because I've got just 5 grand sitting there. I
Oh
want to
my
get
gosh,
my store rocking. And then what happens is that money's gone, and then they're like,
it's
oh,
gone.
POD doesn't work, I'm done,
Yeah.
this is a scam. Well, no, because you went about it all wrong.
Jeez.
Save your money, learn the industry.
Yep.
Learn what mock-ups to use, research, do your keyword research and optimize your SEO. Do all the free and low cost stuff first, get a little bit of experience under your belt, and then once you start organically growing things, and you're getting a sale here, and then that results in a good review, which leads to more sales. Your customer service is on point, and leads to repeat sales, and then everything sort of snowballs, and then you will reach a point where your sales will plateau. And that's when you have to make those choices. Great.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I do need to get professional advice. Maybe I do need to start buying ads, that sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to call a good problem. Okay. Because
Oh, sure.
business is going so well, you have to look for that next step.
So let's talk just a little bit about uh, the difference between someone signing up for Printify, getting integrated all for free, which you can do. Again, I don't know how many more times we need to reiterate that. But what's the difference in something like Printify Premium, and when, like, what, I guess, at what point or when would you suggest that to someone? I see a couple of different, maybe some of your competitors. I see a couple of different platforms offering this type of service, but maybe if you just want to explain what it is, because I feel like some people might log in, they could get slightly a little bit confused what that means. Like, wait a minute, is it free? Is it not free? Just the differences of the free versus premium, and like at what point maybe in the POD seller's career where it's like, oh, okay, maybe I would invest in premium for these reasons.
Yeah, Printify is free to use. We only charge you when it's time to fulfill an order. When you
Sure.
when you make a sale on your channel, you keep that retail price for yourself, and then we charge you the much lower wholesale price to
To
fulfill and
fulfill.
ship it. And the difference between that is your profit that you keep in your pocket. Printify Premium is our subscription service,
Okay.
and that is a monthly subscription fee that gives you instant access to a 20% and up to 20% discount on every single product you fulfill with us, not per order, every single product. Okay. Now that makes sense when you're doing business at about 150, 200 bucks a month. Then it pays for
Okay.
itself. Okay.
Okay.
But what that does, it gives you the best price that we can possibly offer, which is the best price in POD. We're giving you the same opportunity to succeed at that level that as our biggest merchants. So
Mm,
that's what sort of separates us from the pack. Whereas, if some of our competitors will give you this price, and then if you sell this much, you get a discount. No, we give you the
correct.
best price possible with our Printify Premium, so that you can become one of those big merchants over time. Printify Premium also gives you access to Printify Connect, which
Mm,
is for Shopify merchants. It allows you to outsource your customer service to our merchant support. I mentioned it briefly when we were talking about
yeah,
the pop up, but for Shopify merchants, you can go ahead and just turn that on, and then we handle all your customer service, which is pretty cool.
that is
Um,
amazing. Wow.
yeah, and as we hope that at some point we'll be able to expand it to other sales platform, but right now it's for you Shopify merchants. So Printify Premium, it makes sense if you're doing business at that level. I mean, it pays for itself. So yeah, if that's something that you want to offer right off the bat, offer be more price competitive against your competition, then that might be something that you want to consider. But yeah, it's our monthly subscription service, and you get a little bit of a discount if you sign up annually.
Yeah, okay, that makes total sense, and it's really nice, and I think refreshing to hear you talk about it the way that you're talking about it, as opposed to just like, and I'm not saying you would ever do this, but like, oh, premium's so much better, guys. Come on, cheaper products, just get the subscription. No, I love, you're actually giving round numbers. Like, hey, this actually makes sense when we're at this level, so that you continue to get more money, right? Like at some point, it does make sense. Like Kittl is free to try out and to use, and a limited ability. And then once you get to the point where it's like, I could make money with this, then subscribing, I believe, is the best case scenario for
Yeah.
you to have more features, better support, whatever, whatever all of the things that come with it make total sense, right? But in no way do you have to do those things, right? We've already said it. Printify is free. But if you're selling at that level, then it does make sense to go to that next level discounted cost, right? So that you can maximize your profit more, right? It just makes sense.
When it makes sense, then pull the trigger. You're that's what I like to do. I like to give people the information they need so that they can make the best, most informed choice possible. So, and I
Yes.
want to let everyone know watching that I'll be giving away a coupon code at the end of our discussion today, so you can get a free month of Printify Premium. Try it out for yourself, and then if you
Nice.
like it, well, then you can pull the trigger on it. But that way, you can at least experience
That's amazing.
that immediate 20% discount on every product you fulfill, and just get you started off on much better footing with Printify.
Yes, everyone, keep watching just a little bit longer so you can get that code. That sounds amazing, and that's going to go hand in hand with just going hardcore. Put a lot of effort into this. That's a whole month of premium. That 20% discount, you can make a lot of sales. I think with that, you could potentially make a lot of money, especially if you're already a seller somewhere else right now, and you can integrate more products. So maybe the last thing that we can talk about is actually making that first sale, right? The things that you need to make that first sale, and maybe we can sprinkle in how Kittl can really help streamline that process. But things like, what are the things I need to think about? Okay, so like I have this idea for the design, and then I have to list it, right? So we have to list it in some capability. We need mock-ups, right? We need to figure out how we're going to title and tag things. Like, what are the things that you would suggest in getting to make that first sale?
Okay. Making that first sale is a beautiful feeling. And I always say it doesn't
Yeah.
count when you ask your aunt to buy something from your store. It's like, no,
Mm,
the first real sale that you make. It's kind of euphoric, and it's something that you will always remember. Now, there's a couple ways to go about it. Now, you can there's the sort of, I'm going to set myself up with beautiful mock-ups. Kittl, you guys have those mock-ups that you're
yes,
offering now that are pretty cool.
we do.
Um, yeah, and I'm going to optimize my SEO, and I'm going to be active in online spaces and create a Facebook group, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, sort of build it over time, or take advantage of another super cool aspect of being a print on demand seller and using a tool like Kittl is just being aware of what's happening in the zeitgeist. When something happens,
Sure.
like say a politician says something silly, which is bound to happen on a daily, if not weekly basis,
True.
then you can use a tool like Kittl to create a design super quick, publish it to a t-shirt, to a mug, to ice bucket and tongs, whatever it might be, and have that up for sale in literally minutes, so that you can take advantage of the demand for that has been created in popular culture, or what's going on in your particular niche. You can take advantage of that demand as it rises, versus and get out there ahead of your competition before
Yes.
it peters out, becomes unviral, if that's a word. I'm going to use it anyways. And then
Sure.
and the popularity of the product, popularity of that particular idea or meme fades. Then you'll be able because you were able to so quickly have that product up there, you're able to capture those sales on the rise.
Yes.
And once you do it once, you'll be like, great, I'm gonna be on the lookout for this kind of stuff. And again, because you're able to use Kittl to create a design so quickly, because you're able to publish it so fast, that you'll be uniquely poised to capture those sales.
Yeah, one of the best analogies I think I've ever heard is you want to be a speedboat, right? You need to be able to make turns quick, okay, versus something like a Titanic that takes a very long time to turn around, right? We need to be able to adjust and adapt really quickly, like what you're saying.
Drew, I love your speedboat analogy. I'm totally going to steal that.
I stole it from Sean Cannell, so from Think Media. So
uh,
we were actually having a discussion, he and I, about YouTube one day, and I was talking about how fast you can make videos, and he was like, "Well, a channel like mine at 2+ million subs is a little bit difficult for us to turn the boat, because we're kind of like, we're a big, carrier or a Titanic ship, where like coursed for this direction. Whereas smaller channels have the ability to very quickly adapt to the landscape and turn that speedboat really quickly, right? And get on with the next thing. Okay. And maybe, for example, it still applies. Like for, let's say, top seller Etsy's, they have a very curated feed. They have a very curated type of product style. So, and it's already going really well. And it may take a little bit longer to turn that really big ship that's already going really well. Whereas smaller, newer sellers can really get in on the trends and turn that speedboat really fast.
Yeah, that's right. And you never know what's going to be popular out there. All of a sudden, maybe fanny packs come back again, and boom, like
Yeah, it
you can.
probably will.
Yeah, exactly. And then you already have you may already have designs that you can apply and take advantage of that demand, or use Kittl and quickly come up with some new ones. And then boom, you're selling fanny packs, and then one day it's gone, but you made those sales. And if I can just add one more thing to the whole sale making recipe, is everybody out there listening, don't sleep on the opportunities that holidays give you. Now, I don't mean just there's the big ones like Christmas and Mother's Day, Father's Day, that kind of stuff. Okay, if that's coming up, great. Target yourself for that. Every niche can be giftified to apply, but there's all those sort of little holidays in between, Arbor Day and Secretary's Day and National Pet a Dog Day and all that little stuff
National Cookie Day.
Yeah, exactly. That creates its own. I think we just had National Carrot Day just last week, but all these sort of little things. I mean, they may apply to your niche, they may not, but there's certainly opportunities out there for you to capitalize on the demand that and there's always something coming up throughout the year. We just had Easter, and then Mother's Day is on the horizon. People need stuff, and if you're able to offer that and offer a certain level of personalization as well, then you'll, and again, Kittl's perfect for that particular for that particular for those opportunities as well. I just did a webinar last week where I featured some Kittl designs and showed everyone how to easily and quickly personalize a product, sort of demystify that process. So if that interests you, go to our YouTube page, to the live section, check it out. But yeah, and any combination of these strategies are going to lead you to those sales. And again, you provide good customer service, you build those reviews, and then it snowballs, and then you get return customers, you get new customers, you rank higher in Etsy search or on eBay search or wherever it may be.
Right.
And eventually, before you know it, you have to make those choices. Do I take this to the next level? Do I quit my 9-to-5? What do you want to get out of it? And then make an informed decision.
Well, Martin, this has been amazing. That's been a lot of knowledge I feel like has been dropped for people to think about. As you heard already, definitely check out the webinars. I've got Printify's YouTube linked down in the description very clearly for you to go check out. Check out the Q&As that Martin's talking about. And I think it's time to drop that code that you were talking about. So why don't you tell us that offer?
Sure. All right. For a free month of Printify Premium, enter the code Martin30 into the payments section. You'll see it in a little drop-down menu on the upper right-hand side. Go to the payments section, scroll down to where it says coupons on your Printify account. Enter Martin30, and you'll get a free month of Printify Premium. Check it out and get the best possible price that we can offer you, and you're off to the races. And please do join me for those live Q&A sessions. I do them on Mondays, and I do them on Wednesdays. Come join me. Come sit down. I love having these conversations. I love working with merchants at all different levels, and it's part of Printify's commitment and my commitment to making you more knowledgeable and more profitable.
Perfect. Well, you see it right there on the screen. If not, you can check it out in the description. Go try Printify. I mean, you'll get lost in the catalog, which is a good thing, right? Because you're going to come up with something that you've never even thought of. So give it a try. See what you can do in a month. Again, make sure you follow all of those things down in the description, like Printify's YouTube, joining Martin for those Q&As, and I'll be on in May as well. So that's gonna be super fun. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to Kittl if you haven't already, and join the Discord. If you're not in the Discord yet, you're missing a lot of really cool things. You've got immediate access to me and the support team to help you out in any way that you need. There's a whole editor support channel for that. So definitely join the Discord, subscribe. check out Printify, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.